Hey Star Trek fans, Dan Gunther here. Just finished watching episode 11 of Star Trek Discovery, Vaulting Ambition, here to share my thoughts with you. So as the episode begins, Lorca and Burnham are headed to the Emperor's flagship from the Shenzhou, and their goal is to get inside the Imperial Palace and get the unredacted information about the USS Defiant. However, I think it's pretty obvious, especially by what we learn at the end of this episode, that Lorca is not actually interested in that. He's really interested in getting to the Imperial Palace for some reason. Anyway, arriving at Georgiou's flagship, Burnham is of course greeted as a hero for bringing Lorca to the Emperor. However, it turns out that Georgiou knows that Burnham is deceiving her because in her universe, she had become aware that Burnham and Lorca had been working together. And of course, because Burnham doesn't know this history, the plan sort of unravels and she doesn't have the information to fill in the missing pieces and ends up having to reveal to Georgiou that she is not from the Mirror Universe. She's in fact from the universe with the United Federation of Planets. Georgiou knows of this universe from the Defiant files, from the Enterprise episodes In a Mirror Darkly, and ends up making a deal with Burnham. However, during the course of this, it comes to light that Lorca, the one seemingly from our universe, is actually from the Mirror Universe. In a really great reveal, I have to say. Now, this is one fan theory that I really thought was cool. There were some interesting clues. However, I was not on the side of people that thought that it was actually the case. But I do have to say the reveal was pretty great, and I have to give them props. It's not something that I ever thought was really the case, but it turns out to be true. Lorca's play this entire season has been to get to the Mirror Universe, to get inside the Imperial Palace, to get presumably at Emperor Georgiou in some capacity. Meanwhile, on the Discovery, Tilly's efforts to revive Stamets continue as he showed signs of life at the end of the episode. We get kind of this journey through Stamets' mind where he's meeting himself, his mirror version self. Turns out they're trapped in the mycelial plane and they have to get back somehow. While in this kind of other world, Stamets encounters Culber and learns that he has been killed. And Culber helps him to get back to reality. And both Stamets, the one from the Mirror Universe and the one from our universe, are revived. But it seems that the Mirror Stamets has been doing some sort of experiments with the mycelial network that have endangered it. And upon investigating Discovery's storeroom of mycelial spores, it seems that they're all dying, that there's some sort of sickness infecting the mycelial network. And hopefully we learn more about that because I'm really curious where that story is going for sure. Meanwhile, with Tyler/Voke, this is a really interesting story here where the two personalities seem to be fighting it out amongst the two of them. And Saru appeals to L'Rell to help kind of negotiate that and figure out what's going on and to fix Tyler. And it seems that now in the scene where L'Rell is helping them to fix Tyler, I didn't trust her. I thought she was bringing Voke's personality out, but when she does whatever it is she's doing, she does a Klingon death howl, which presumably is for Voke's personality, and I didn't really believe her up until that point. Now I'm kind of, okay, maybe she is trying to help them save Tyler. Her motivation for that, I guess, she doesn't like to see him suffering and is kind of putting Voke out of his misery. But I'd like to learn a little bit more about exactly what her motivation there was and if this really is on the up and up and we have Tyler back now, or is this something that's going to continue to play out? Some things I really liked in this episode, mentioning early on the interphasic space that the Defiant went through to get to the Mirror Universe. Really great continuity with the original series. I like when just stuff like that's name dropped for the super fans who know about that sort of thing. That's really great to see. And the ISS Quran, which is the Emperor's flagship, really cool design here. I have a hard time seeing how Eaglemoss might replicate it for their Starships line, but I'm really interested to see them try. It kind of almost seems to hold like a localized stellar phenomenon to power it. At first I thought it was like a star far in the background, but we get another shot of the ship where it's very clear that it's part of the ship and it's being held and presumably powering the vessel. So very cool design there. I really like that. When Burnham is meeting with Emperor Georgiou, the dinner scene, I have to say, is probably the most chilling scene in Star Trek ever. I watched this with a group of friends, and all of us gasped audibly when we realized that they were eating the kelpian that Burnham had picked out. It was literally stomach turning. I had a hard time with that scene, especially, of course, with Georgiou saying, you know, here, have my ganglia. And oh my God, I still get a little stomach turned by that. Oh, brutal scene. I can't believe how much that affected all of us. Interesting alternate backstory for Burnham. Like the Burnham of our universe, she was apparently orphaned. Her parents were killed, but instead of Sarek taking her in, it was Georgiou that took her in as her daughter and raised her. So it's obvious why the mirror Burnham would be so brutal in this universe where Georgiou is the Emperor. Once again, I love the costume design. An interesting side note, Georgiou's sword that she carries was apparently Michelle Yeoh gave notes in its design, so she helped with its creation and gave notes on it when it came back, and that she wanted this or that tweaked about it. So it was really cool that she had a hand in helping design that prop, especially given her martial arts background. And it really is impressive. The intricate designs on it, as well as the rest of the costumes. I kind of really want the one guy, she kills everybody in her courtroom, kind of mirroring Yondu and his arrow there, but she's got this little metal disc that flies through everyone's heads and kills them, with the exception of one man who, you know, she says, can you keep a secret? And he's like, oh, you better damn well believe I can after seeing that. And she offers him the emperorship of, or the governorship of Andor or something like that. His costume with the kind of armor, but this little short cape, really cool. I kind of want that costume. I don't think I could quite pull it off with, you know, the physiques of some of these guys in the Mirror Universe, but it's still a really cool costume. I'd love to take a look at that in person. Interestingly, like I mentioned, Georgiou is aware of the Federation through the files from the Defiant. I find it interesting, and I did rewatch In a Mirror Darkly from Enterprise recently, and Archer gave an order to Hoshi to delete the files from the mirror, from our universe on the Defiant. But of course, he was killed very shortly after giving that order. And I think his order was something like, you know, in the morning, delete those files. I don't want anybody getting any more ideas. Well, apparently Hoshi never did that after rising to the level of Empress. So those files still existed, and Georgiou was able to access them as the Emperor of the Terran Empire. And of course, finally, the reveal at the end of the episode that Lorca is in fact from the Mirror Universe. I really liked how this reveal was done, with Burnham kind of piecing it together from just the little clues here and there, and realizing that Lorca is from the Mirror Universe and has been using her this entire time. And if you check out my previous video wondering if Lorca is from the Mirror Universe, you'll see some of those clues. There have been a few more since. Interestingly, someone online picked up the clue about Lorca requiring the treatment for his eyes, and connecting that to Burnham's line in the previous episode about even the light being different in the Mirror Universe. And I kind of dismissed that in my head as like, that's a bit of a stretch. I don't think that's actually a clue. But wow, turns out I was wrong. That is actually a clue. There's a genetic difference between the humans of the Mirror Universe and the humans of our universe, in that the Mirror Universe humans are more sensitive to light. So that was apparently a clue this whole time. And kind of an interestingly, almost cheeky way of explaining why the Defiance lights were turned so low during In a Mirror Darkly. Now, if you go to the Deep Space Nine Mirror Universe episodes, the lighting is very low on Terok Nor and the Rebel ships and that sort of thing. So that really fits in well. The original series episode Mirror Mirror, I think, is where we have a bit of a problem, because I think those sets were very brightly lit. So that doesn't quite fit in with what we hear here, but at the same time, there's a lot of design elements of the original series that they're kind of glossing over. Again, this shows a bit of a visual reboot of that universe, so I could see them being okay with ignoring that. And I'm kind of okay with a squint and make it fit theory with this, so kind of an interesting new side note with regards to characters in the Mirror Universe, and kind of explains why it's always so dark there. And also with regards to the reveal of Lorca being from the Mirror Universe, there's the scene where he's in the agony booth, or the agonizer booth as they call it here, and the Terran captain is telling him to, you know, say my sister's name, and he seems to actually struggle, and because he doesn't know the sister's name, because he's not from this universe, he doesn't know the history that he's talking about, but it turns out all of that is a lie. So it's interesting, during that scene, I was actually thinking to myself, oh, Lorca is not from the Mirror Universe. I guess that fan theory is not true. But of course, it all gets turned on its head, and it turns out that he is. And that's just a wonderful scene because it flipped my expectations right at the end. Some might say, obviously, I didn't think that was the case. They tricked me, I will admit it. So beautiful reveal, and kind of had all of us, you know, looking at the screen going, holy crap, you know, great reveal. And a better reveal, I think, than the Tyler Volk thing where, you know, the character actually has to say, you know, I am Volk, son of none. I'm the one who you fought on the Klingon sarcophagus ship. There's no grand pronouncement here. Burnham just kind of pieces it together and realizes what's going on. And this realization that she and Emperor Georgiou have a common enemy is, I think, going to play a really interesting role in the next episode. I'm not sure how they're going to go forward here. I'm not sure exactly what Lorca's plan is. Presumably he's going to make some sort of move against the Emperor and possibly try to claim the Emperorship for himself, or get vengeance on her for some reason. I'm not sure, but wow, this episode was just rip-roaring, amazing action and reveals and surprises from start to finish. And I'm really hoping it carries this momentum through to the final episode. This series has been amazing, and I'm both saddened and excited that there are only 3 episodes left, because I really want to see where the story's going, but I really want more discovery. So, man, tough stuff. And I'm really sad that we only have 3 more episodes, but this one was incredible and I absolutely loved it. All right, so how about you guys? What did you think of Star Trek Discovery Season 1, Episode 12, Vaulting Ambition? Leave your comments in the comments below. I will, of course, read all of your comments and respond to a few of them. Thank you so much for watching. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Links are all in the description below. If you have some time and some extra money, it would really be appreciated if you could help out the channel, even by pledging just $1 a month. You can really help Kertrats Productions to create some great videos and new ideas that I want to do going forward. Thank you again so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Until then, live long and prosper, and if any of you are actually from the Mirror Universe, I'll find you out.